Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
An expert who observes and comments on something. A person who becomes aware of things or events through the senses. A writer who reports and analyzes events of the day. An expert who observes and comments on something. A person who becomes aware of things or events through the senses. A person who becomes aware of things or events through the senses. Characterized by ease and quickness in perceiving. A percipient author. A person who becomes aware of things or events through the senses. Having or showing knowledge and skill and aptitude. An expert job. Of or relating to or requiring special knowledge to be understood. A person with special knowledge or ability who performs skillfully. Causing or capable of causing death. Mortal combat. A human being. Involving loss of divine grace or spiritual death. Subject to death. Mortal beings. Unrelenting and deadly. Mortal enemy. A human being. A human being. The immaterial part of a person. The actuating cause of an individual life. Deep feeling or emotion. A human being. A secular form of gospel that was a major black musical genre in the 1960s and 1970s. Soul was politically significant during the civil rights movement. The human embodiment of something. The soul of honor. Characteristic of or meant for a single person or thing. An individual serving. Being or characteristic of a single thing or person. Individual drops of rain. A human being. Separate and distinct from others of the same kind. Mark the individual pages. Concerning one person exclusively. We all have individual cars. A single organism. A human being. There was too much for one person to do. A grammatical category used in the classification of pronouns, possessive determiners, and verb forms according to whether they indicate the speaker, the addressee, or a third party. Stop talking about yourself in the third person. A human body, usually including the clothing. A weapon was hidden on his person. A commentator who writes notes to a text. Someone who sees an event and reports what happened. A person who supplies information. Someone who listens attentively. A very attractive or seductive-looking woman. A close observer. Someone who looks at something, such as an exhibition of some kind. Of spores or microorganisms, capable of movement. One whose prevailing mental imagery takes the form of inner feelings of action. Someone who gives formal notice. Someone who takes notice. A careful noticer of details. An authoritative person who divines the future. A person with unusual powers of foresight. An observer who perceives visually. An incurable seer of movies. A woman's pump with medium heel, usually in contrasting colors for toe and heel. A close observer. Someone who looks at something, such as an exhibition of some kind. The spectators applauded the performance. A person employed to keep watch for some anticipated event. Someone who is the first to observe something. A worker employed at a dry cleaning establishment to remove spots. A worker employed to apply spots, as markers or identifiers. A close observer. Someone who looks at something, such as an exhibition of some kind. Television viewers. An optical device for viewing photographic transparencies. One whose prevailing mental imagery is visual. One whose prevailing mental imagery is visual. A close observer. Someone who looks at something, such as an exhibition of some kind. Skywatchers discovered a new star. A guard who keeps watch. A person who keeps a devotional vigil by a sick bed or by a dead body. Law. A person who attests to the genuineness of a document or signature by adding their own signature. Someone who sees an event and reports what happened. Perceive or be contemporaneous with. A close observer. Someone who looks at something, such as an exhibition of some kind. Be a witness to. She witnessed the accident and had to testify in court. Law. A person who testifies under oath in a court of law. Testimony by word or deed to your religious faith. Someone who sees an event and reports what happened. Someone who waits on or attends to the needs of another. A person who is present and participates in a meeting. He was a regular attender at department meetings. Someone who listens attentively. Of or relating to the process of hearing. An audile person. One whose mental imagery is auditory rather than visual or motor. Someone who listens attentively. A qualified accountant who inspects the accounting records and practices of a business or other organization. A student who attends a course but does not take it for credit. Someone who is the first to think of or make something. Someone who is the first to observe something.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.